Attack on Titan is finally over. After 10 years, 94 episodes, and a two-part finale that was split up over the course of a whole entire year, the most influential anime of all time has finally come to an end. Or has it? In our last video, what you missed at the end of Attack on Titan, I discussed the final episodes of AoT, and more importantly, my interpretation on the ending of this show, and how the author, Isayama, leaves us with a rather ambiguous and dark ending to our story, which has fans all over the world clamoring at the possibility of a future spin-off or a possible even sequel to Attack on Titan. In this video, we're going to be discussing everything we know so far about the future of AoT, from the possible prequel series, either revolving around Mikasa or even Levi, or the potential for a true Attack on Titan sequel that would follow an ancestor of Mikasa and would pick up on our story where it left off at the end of Attack on Titan, and the likely return of the Titan powers to our story. Real fast, before we can talk about any of this, we need to run through the ending of Attack on Titan. So obviously, spoiler warnings. I mean, if you're clicking on this video and you haven't seen the end of AoT, or you don't know the end, like, what are you doing? So the ending of Attack on Titan in the anime largely lines up with the ending of Attack on Titan in the manga. I should say, I guess specifically the second ending, because the original ending that Isayama came up with, people were not very happy about. So after Mikasa cuts Eren's head off in the great final battle, she takes his body back to the island of Paradise and buries him underneath the tree on the hill, one of the most important and symbolic places in our entire story. Years pass, and as Mikasa sits by Eren's grave lamenting the loss of her best friend and love interest, we get a surprise scene of a bird coming to see Mikasa. Now, this bird and the bird in general represents Eren. This is kind of a symbolic representation of Eren and his quest and his love for freedom. Birds throughout their entire story have constantly represented Eren as they are a symbol of freedom and Eren's drive to achieve freedom. This is important, and we're going to reference this again later, Eren and this symbolism with birds, as well as there's some symbolism of butterflies with Mikasa, but we're going to talk about this later. After these scenes, our credits begin to roll, and it's here we get the true, actual ending of Attack on Titan. Why they put these scenes after the credits, I will never know. In these after credit scenes, we see a very long series of time skip. First, we see a woman and a man and their child come and visit Eren's grave. This is Mikasa and most likely Jean and their child. This child's going to be very important. We're going to talk about it later. Time continues to pass. We see that Mikasa finally passes away, and we see the city surrounding Eren's tree slowly begin to build up, become modern as our time begins to pass. As well, throughout this time skip, we see a buildup of military technology, as we see that even throughout Eren's actions, that Paradise Island and his people, the Eldian people, can never escape from war. As through these scenes, we see that Paradise Island is once again subjected to some kind of war, most likely against the rest of the world and the allied forces. Remember, Eren wiped out 80% of the population of the entire world in order to prevent a counter attack on the island of Paradise in the future. Obviously, though, we see that this didn't work, as there is still fighting on the island of Paradise in the future. This is kind of very much symbolism for us as a species, humanity as a species, and our capacity to go to war and to kill one another for basically like no reason. Ultimately, it seems like some kind of nuke hits Paradise as the world and these cities are completely destroyed. It's here again we see far off in the future, as the island of Paradise has become this kind of almost like Chernobyl-esque dystopian future where all of the buildings in the cities are completely grown over. The world of Paradise has very much returned back to the land, and it seems like there's not very many people living here. However, in our closing scenes, we see a young boy and his dog, this boy seemingly exploring the island of Paradise. The speculation is that this boy is the relative, the offspring, way in the future of Mikasa and Jean. Throughout the destruction of Paradise, we see that one thing still remains, and that is Eren's tree, the tree on the hill, which has grown to incredible size. As in our final scenes, we see this ancestor of Mikasa walk in to the tree. Now, this very much is a parallel Eren's tree to Ymir's tree in our story. Ymir's tree being the tree where Ymir, long time, like 2,000 years before the events of Attack on Titan, received her Titan powers and became the first Titan. The parallels to these trees are insanely obvious, as it's most likely that the reason Eren's tree grew so large was because of the Titan powers, similar to Ymir's tree, which only grew so large because the parasite creature, which is the birth of the Titan powers, was living beneath this tree, hence why the tree grew so tall, almost like a Titan tree. Because of all of this, many people speculate that the sequel to Attack on Titan will most likely follow the story of Mikasa's ancestors inheriting Titan powers in the long-distance future. Yes, and their kind of story. Now, this is complete speculation, complete hyperbole. To my knowledge, there is no confirmed sequel, there is no confirmed story here about the future of Attack on Titan. There's been several posts online over the last year hinting that this is basically confirmed. There's a Reddit post here from 8 months ago, as well as a Twitter post from like the last couple of weeks, stating that as part of Attack on Titan's 10th anniversary, Isayama confirmed that Attack on Titan, A Founder's Curse, an anime project, will begin airing in July of 2024. I don't think this is true. I have found nothing confirming this besides a few posts. I do not think that there will be any Attack on Titan anime sequel released in 2024. If this is true and a Attack on Titan sequel, A Founder's Curse, following Mikasa's ancestor, basically picking up where we left off at the end of Attack on Titan here, if this is going to happen, this will most likely happen 2, 3, maybe even 4 years from now. This is not going to happen anytime soon, methinks. Now, Isayama, in all of his statements so far, has not confirmed in any way that there will be a sequel, a follow-up, a big kind of anime piece that will be a sequel for Attack on Titan. I mean, this has been this guy's life work for like the last 10, 15 years plus now, so I imagine that he probably wants to take a little bit of a break. I do imagine, though, that he is facing a lot of pressure, most likely from MAPPA and his agents and the manga studios, to continue to make a sequel for Attack on Titan, as this is the most popular series of anime to date. This anime very drastically changed the landscape of anime as a whole, hence why I say that it is the most important anime probably of all time. It's the most influential anime probably of all time, and how it really changed the modern landscape of anime. The fandom is absolutely massive, and they are constantly clamoring for some kind of a sequel for Attack on Titan. So the pressure is mounting. The question is, will Isayama cave to this pressure, and will there be a sequel of Attack on Titan? What we do know, and what is confirmed, is that later on in 2024, there will be a release of a new manga-esque, I say. It's an art book specifically titled Fly. A complete illustration art book titled Fly that will be released on April 30th, 2024, and this art book will contain 18 new pages drawn by Isayama titled Bad Boy. Now, a lot of people speculate what these 18 manga pages are going to discuss. A lot of people think that they're going to kind of more neatly wrap up certain stories within Attack on Titan. It's very possible that this could be the lead-in for an Attack on Titan spin-off. If I had to guess, these pages most likely are going to be over Levi. They could be over so many different characters, but if anyone is a bad boy in Attack on Titan, it is most likely Levi. And I know that the fan base has been clamoring for a Levi spinoff, a potential prequel series following Levi in his younger career. According to this site and this piece by Spiel Anime, Shingeki Fly is going to contain a bunch of symbolism that speaks to Eren's existence across multiple universes of AoT, hence the symbolism of Eren as a bird and Mikasa as a butterfly. A lot of people speculate that there will potentially be that this manga book will potentially introduce a spin-off of a different universe within Attack on Titan. I guess potentially one where Eren makes a different choice and a different aspect. Now, my only problem with this is that the time travel in Attack on Titan is listed as a fixed time travel point. There is no branching universes, to my understanding, in Attack on Titan. There is only one universe, there is only one story, the story that we got, hence why it wasn't technically possible for Eren to change any of these future events. Basically, it was always going to happen. It was always going to play out this way because it had already happened. Eren, remember, with his Attack on Titan's powers, his memories of the future combined with the founding Titan and the blood of the royal family, basically puts him in a state where time is not linear for Eren. He exists at all points throughout all things. Thus, at this point, the rumbling in the future, the wipeout of, the most of the world has already happened at this point. We remember that when Eren touched Historia's hand, he saw the future that he would eventually cause. But at this point, it's not a future that he would potentially cause. It is a future that has already happened, a future that is destined to happen, and a future that, well, will happen and did happen. As well, a lot of fans speculate that there will be Attack on Titan spin-offs, Attack on Titan prequels. As we already said, there has been a lot of interest and talk about a potential spin-off prequel on the Levi story, going over, Levi pre the events of Attack on Titan, really understanding Levi's character more thoroughly, something that I would very much like to see. There's a lot of Attack on Titan prequels that I would be very interested to see play out, like the Titan War of the past, or anything really on Marley in the distant past. Actually, while I was editing this video, I came across this article from IGN India, which has a tweet that apparently reveals that it is actually, these bad boy manga chapters are about Levi. Apparently, according to these posts here of these storyboards, this is a depiction of Levi's childhood. I have no idea if this is legit or not, but I thought I'd include it in the video anyway. To me, these types of prequel series spin-offs seem way more likely than a true Attack on Titan, sequel follow-up. Logistically, a spin-off or a prequel in an already existing storyline on a world would be a lot more easier to craft, as you're already using a lot of, story bits that already exist within the world. You're just further elaborating on them. A lot of story that I'm sure Isayama has already elaborated on in his headcanon, in his mind, but just hasn't been written down on paper in any way. Overall, we really just have no idea what is going to happen with the future of Attack on Titan. Personally, my money is on some kind of a sequel, as well as an addition of spin-offs and prequels in our future in anime form. It's likely that we're going to get more information on this in the next year. As we said, Attack on Titan will be celebrating their 10th anniversary very soon in the following year. As well, there will be the Attack on Titan art book Shingeki Fly released, having the pages of Bad Boy. Likely this will shed some more light on what the future of Attack on Titan holds. Personally though, I would put my money on there being some kind of an Attack on Titan spin-off, prequel, and maybe even in the future, maybe 3-4 years from now, an Attack on Titan true sequel. Whether the sequel will follow the story of Mikasa's ancestor as it is left off at the end of Attack on Titan, and possibly the returning of the Titan powers. I say possibly, but let's be honest, it's not possible. It's basically confirmed with this ending. I would say 100%, 99% confirmed that the Titan powers are not actually gone. Overall though, there's nothing really concrete, and this is just pure speculation, and we're just gonna have to wait, especially for the release of AoT Volume 35, Shingeki Fly, for really more information, and just wait until 2024 for potentially more information. Like I said, personally, my money is betting that there will be some kind of more Attack on Titan media released in the future. This is the most popular anime series of all time, and the most popular anime series right now. Attack on Titan very much changed how modern anime is done in the landscape of modern anime. Its fan base is massive, and I can't really see them just silently sitting there, just accepting that the universe of Attack on Titan is over. Personally, I am happy with the ending of Attack on Titan, and I think that they very much could just let it rest here. But I don't think that's going to happen. And also, as a fan of Attack on Titan, I will enjoy and devour any more media, any more additions to this story that they will put out, because I love this story. It's awesome. While it is frustrating in some of the aspects of its time travel, Attack on Titan is like the king of like shock moments, the king of like plot twists, big brain anime moments. There's not really many other anime out there that come close to the level of plot twists and kind of shock plot twists that get dropped on you in this show. Yeah, and I absolutely love it. As always, though, these are just my thoughts, my opinions, and speculation from the internet. Again, there is no conclusive evidence that there will be, at this point of the time of recording, on December 4th, 2023, that there will be a future spinoff or even sequel of Attack on Titan. It's completely possible that this really is the end of Attack on Titan, something that fans are going to be absolutely furious about, but really only time will tell. Again, we have to remember that Isayama is a man. He is a human being. This dude has devoted years and years of his life to crafting this story. And if you know anything about manga artists, these people are absolutely worked to the bone. So I imagine that he probably needs a little bit of a rest for now. As always, guys, these are just my thoughts and opinions. So let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy this video or learn something new, please like, comment, and subscribe, as this engagement very much helps the channel out and puts these videos into the algorithm. As always, drink your water, hug your mother. Until next time, peace, love, aru.